Hey guys! Today I'm doing an unboxing of a set of alcohol markers that I found on Amazon. I own a set of Copics, a set of 72 Copic Chow markers, which I love, but they are very expensive. You can refill them, they work beautifully, they blend beautifully. I've had these for 7 years now, and I haven't run out of them, any of them. Haven't had to refill them yet. I also own several sets of Spectrum Noir markers. I don't know if I'm saying that right, N-O-I-R. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I do own several sets of these, which are less expensive. I don't like how they color as much as the Copics. I recently discovered, when doing some searching on YouTube, I found that there are a set of markers on Amazon, Ohuhu, Ohuhu brand, and they were very inexpensive. They were $50 for a set of 100, which is 50 cents a marker. To me, that's awesome. I'm hoping they will supplement my Copics and Spectrum Noirs nicely. So I'm going to unbox them. This is mostly for my friend Shannon, who really wanted to see them, and hopefully you like the video. Okay. Here is the set. It comes in a nice case. I did buy the set of 100. It does come in sets of 60 and 80 as well, maybe 40 even. But I just went for, since they were so inexpensive, I went for the full set. Oh, that's cute. Looks like you can fit a few more in here as well. Doesn't look like it's completely full, which would be nice for traveling. Lots of different colors I don't have as part of my other sets. Like this looks like neon, which is interesting. So I'm gonna swatch them. I have a generic, this is actually a Copic blending chart that I found. It's from Cat's Scrappy Bloggy Life, KathleenDriggers.com. Just to give her a shout out, I found this just doing a Google search. Doesn't look like there is a blank color chart for these markers, so I'm gonna use this so that I can write the numbers next to them. But first, let's just check how they compare to Copics and Spectrum Noirs. So I've got a blank piece of paper here. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a color. Let's pick this purple. All right, and it's got a broad tip and a fine tip. They're pretty light, like very light. I don't know how full they are. I don't think you can refill them, but again, for the price, it seems pretty reasonable. So it's got a fine tip. It's marked on the side. Okay, this is the fine tip. It actually writes nice. Color's kind of nice. Don't know how I feel about the round caps. They seem a little harder to grip. And then there is a broad tip, which works very well. So this would be the tip that you would color with. Seems to color pretty smooth. Okay, so that's the Ohuhu marker. I'm gonna pull out a purple Copic Chow marker. And I usually color with this tip, which is obviously a brush tip. This is going to be more of a nub tip, but so you get different effects. It also has a broad tip, which I almost never use. And then I wonder if anybody actually does. I'm gonna find a purple. I actually have two of this color. Spectrum Noirs, I have two different versions. I don't know which one was newer or older. I think these ones were newer, but well, I'll just pick one out. So this one says fine tip, and this one obviously is running out a little bit. I think I got duplicate sets, and this is the other fine tip. This one works better. So this is the coloring of the Spectrum Noirs. I actually say this color is richer, but again, they're not exact matches. They all work, you know, they all seem to be smooth. If I look at them, they seem to color smoothly. I'm curious how the new ones blend. My Copic markers blend really well. I'm sure most of you kind of have seen how those work. So let's try to blend a couple colors. I don't know if these even... All right, we've got, what's this? This is 81, this is 83. So let's try blending these two and see how they work. So I've got the lighter color darker color. And usually how I color with my Copics is I would go back over with the lighter color. And they do seem to blend okay. Maybe a little bit more of a defined line, but that was just a quick color. I mean, I think they're gonna serve its purpose. I'm not that great of a colorer, so I don't do a lot of the different blending that some of the better people who do this do. So for my purpose, just coloring in stamped images, I think this is gonna work nicely. So let's swatch them. Okay, so here's number 1. And I'm gonna go with the fine tip. The other thing to do, you know, by swatching them is I can check and see how well they're working. All right, so that was number 1. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so this is number 15. It's a really nice kind of burnt red color. So they seem to be swatching pretty well. I'm liking the colors. They're very vibrant, which is nice. It'd be interesting to try these neons. This is F04. Looking at the other colors that are in there. All right, let's go with this one. Wow, that really is neon. It's interesting. That is quite colorful. I'm just liking a variety of colors that are in there. All right, I'm going to stamp up an image and I'll come back and then I'll color the image, just a simple one, just so you can see how they're coloring. So I'm just gonna take some colors and color in the vases. I mean, the fine tip makes it fairly easy to actually color in the lines. I do find sometimes my Copics, because they're a brush tip, I go outside of the lines. I'm not sure about how, I mean, it looks pretty good. I can see a little bit of brush strokes, whereas if I were going to color in with a Copic marker, so this is a Copic, this is actually not a Chow. It's one that I recently bought singly just for a color. So if I color in with this is a very similar color though to the Copic. Copic's definitely a little brighter, a little more turquoisey, and the Ohuhu is a bit more green. But they're very close. I mean, if you look at the coloring, you know, this one you can see a little bit more of the brush strokes in, but they color well. And, you know, I can still see some marks in the Copics too, so I can't really fault it that much, especially at 50 cents a marker. I think I paid $6 a piece for these, $6 or $7 a piece for these. My set of 72 was $195, so 100 markers for $50, and I used a gift card, so I paid like $26. It's a pretty good deal. Let's pick another color. Let's go with this one that I'm not sure is 6 or 9. It's like a pretty pink, so we'll color in the flower. Like I said, the little fine tip is actually really good for getting in the very tight spaces. These tiny little flowers, I'm not going outside the lines at all. Now that one colored very smooth. I don't see any brush strokes in that one, but it's a very small flower. That's a nice bright pink. That's beautiful. All right, here's a blue. I said I'm going to have to swatch these for me just to be able to see exactly what colors I have. This is very dark. So the color, I wouldn't say the cap necessarily matches. I mean, although that pink is, I think that pink is pretty good. That bright pink is, you know, fairly close. I mean, you can tell that it's similar color, but I think you're definitely gonna need the swatches because I don't think they're an exact match. Whereas I feel like when I pick up a Copic marker, they're close. They aren't perfect either, by any means, as an exact match, and I don't think the Spectrum Noirs match at all. Oh, here's a nice orange. I haven't found any dried out yet. I mean, that one, it's working very well. I'm actually really very excited for the price I paid for these and how well they are working. So there were a few people on Amazon that mentioned something that they got a couple with cracks or a couple had leaked. I did read something about not forcing the caps on because sometimes that can cause issues. But, you know, they're not bad. I mean, you can tell that they're lighter than a Copic. Well, actually, I don't know. This is pretty light, so maybe not. I'm happy. So anyway, that is my review of the Ohuhu markers. I like the little case they come in. I like that I could add a couple of other markers with it if I want to take this on the go. I like that I don't have to worry about, you know, like I take really good care of my Copics. I am very protective of them because they were so expensive. These I'm like, well, they were really cheap, so what's in there? Oh, 10% off. Some sort of discount that came with it. It doesn't, oh, it did give me a color chart. Look at that. So it does come with a, I still think you should swatch them, but it does come with a little set to tell you what is in the 100 marker set. So those are the colors, which, like I said, I think this is a good variety. This, you know, this is not showing up as neon on here. And obviously, that F04 is a neon, you can see from my swatch. So, like I said, you should definitely do your own swatch, but it's nice that they give you a little color chart. I think I'd really like to take, I have separate charts for my Copics and my Spectrum Noir, and I think I'd really like to make like a consolidated chart just to show what color ranges I have and everything, and I might actually do that. This is fun to play with, so. Okay, I am back. I have finished swatching all of the colors. I did not find any that were dried out, which is great. I didn't find any cracked, any leaked. The only thing I found was one of the markers on one side has this kind of weird melty look to it, but I checked the tip. It's actually the broad tip, which again I won't use anyway, and it's not dried out or anything, so it doesn't seem to have affected it at all. That is the only thing that I found. Other than that, they all look really good. I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping them in this case. I mean, I like it. I kind of like to play with it, but I don't know if I'm going to keep them in there. Right now, I actually have my Spectrum Noirs and Copics stored in these drawers with these Stampin' Up! Ones. I don't really like these. These are the water-based Stampin' Up! Markers. So I might move these out and put the Ohuhu ones in there, but right now I kind of just like to flip through them. They're kind of cute. So I wanted to show you, again, they are not the same colors as the color chart. You can see that these are not shown as neon, and these are the neon ones. These warm grays, a lot of these came out kind of brown when I first colored them, but they have dried to, I guess, more of a warm gray. This one looks a little peach, but the cool grays definitely look cool grays. These mimic my Copics, I would say. But you can see, like, they don't seem to have a rhyme or reason as to which order they put them in. Like, I've seen some of darker colors and then lighter colors, but they do all group together, so all the blues, greens, etc. I like how they turned out, though. They look really good. So I want to show you, though, compared to like what I have for Spectrum Noirs. Now remember, these are various sets of 6 markers a piece, and you know, if you look at my reds over here, they almost all look the same. Reds and pinks. You know, there isn't much of a difference. Like these, if you look at, you know, these brights, they almost look identical. I'm sure that there is a subtle difference, but like BP3, BP5, they look the same. I have found like BT7, BT8, so I don't find the same kind of difference in each color with the Spectrum Noirs, and obviously I don't have as great of a variety because I've just been collecting them as sets of 6, usually as gifts. My Copics, other than the 6 that I bought individually, I had bought a set of 72. If you look on Amazon, it's, I think, the intermediate set A, which did give me a variety of colors. I find, though, when I'm looking through these that I don't have exactly the shade I need of certain things, especially in the greens. I don't find that I have, you know, a perfect green or something for Christmas trees, for example. There is no true green. This would be the closest, but even that is a little bit bright. So I like that this one seems to have, you know, a huge variety of colors and all of the standard colors. You know, there's a standard purple, there's a standard blue, which is really nice. So I'm very pleased with this overall. It's interesting to see, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how long they last at 50 cents a marker and not being refillable. I'm sure they won't last as long as my Copics. And again, you know, the Copics do color a little smoother, but to save $6 to $7 a marker, you know, if you're just starting out and you can't afford them, Copic markers, this is an awesome alternative. I'm very happy with this. So anyway, I'm gonna go turn off this now and try to get it up online for you. See you later. Bye.